It's a great day to be in real estate. This is Duanebeisner, sales manager and sales representative for ERA. For the quote of the day, ability is a poor man's wealth, by the late John Wooden. For the joke of the day, a man and his wife are sitting in the living room discussing a living will. Just so you know, I never want to live in a vegetative state dependent on some machine and fluids from a bottle. If that ever happens, just pull the plug, says the husband to the wife. So his wife got up, unplugged the TV, and threw out all the beer. Now for the business tip of the day. It's impossible to succeed without other people. And people all around you are just waiting to hear a good presentation. Think about that. For the social commentary, in an election year dominated by political intrigue and voter unpredictability, today's primary may offer the clearest sense yet of the nation's mood heading into November midterms. Voters in nearly a dozen states will cast their ballots in contests that run the gamut from the routine to the unconventional, taking in themes that range from anti-government protest to anti-corporate populism. For all the wild cards involved, today's races nevertheless feature a few big themes that could be potential game changers in November. One striking question, for instance, is whether 2010 could be the year of the Republican woman. Female GOP candidates are poised to win several big primaries today, including California, South Carolina, and Nevada. Another issue is the perennial incumbent versus challenger debate. Are voters as anti-establishment and anti-Washington as polls suggest? In Tuesday's races, the question is a bit more complicated than usual. At least three candidates on the ballot today, Meg Whitman and Carly Fiorina in California and Bill Halter in Arkansas, have positioned themselves as outsiders, running against politics as usual, even though their candidacies are largely fueled by insider support and money. Here's a quick look at 5 of today's most pivotal races. Nevada's GOP Senate primary. In what is perhaps the most important primary of the day, 3 Republicans are vying to face Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid, Loudoun, Sharon Engel, and businessman, Danny. We'll see how that turns out. South Carolina's GOP gubernatorial primary polls show that this is Nikki Haley's race to lose. Haley has a 20-point lead in the polls against her nearest competitor, Gresham Barrett. And in Arkansas, the Senate Democratic primary runoff, embattled incumbent Senator Blanche Lincoln is on the ballot against Halter. If she loses, she will be the 3rd Senate incumbent after Arlen Specter and Bob Bennett to lose a primary. California GOP Senate primary, vying to face Democratic Senator Barbara Boxer this November. Former HP CEO Carly Fiorina had a big lead heading into Tuesday's voting. She's facing former Republican Tom Campbell, a moderate, and state Republican Chuck DeVore, who is a conservative backed by the Tea Party movement. Then there's the California GOP gubernatorial primary. The big story of this race is simple: campaign cash. In the run-up to today's primary, former eBay CEO Meg Whitman spent nearly $70 million of her own money to make what per year? Anyway, setting new records even in California, where statewide campaigns have always broken records thanks to its status as the nation's most populous state. Whitman's challenger, State Insurance Commissioner Steve Poizner, also a former Silicon Valley chieftain, spent nearly $25 million. While Whitman looks to win easily today, she leads Poizner by nearly 20 points, according to the field poll. The big question is, how much is she willing to spend against her Democratic opponent, State Attorney General and former Governor Jerry Brown? Remember the days of Jerry Brown? Okay, for Duane's Real Estate News, there was a study showing homeownership rate declined. Homeownership rates are down 2 percentage points from their 2006 peak, but could fall another 5 percentage points in the next couple of years, according to a study by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. The study subtracts the number of homeowners who are underwater from the official homeownership rate calculated quarterly by the U.S. Census Bureau. Officially, homeownership was 67.2% at the end of 2009, but the report says that effectively the rate is about 62% if those homeowners likely to lose their homes are subtracted from that total. Cities cited as having very low effective homeownership rates include Las Vegas, Phoenix, San Diego, Los Angeles, where we're located, San Francisco, Miami, Tampa, Detroit, and Washington, D.C. New home builders did report improving spring sales. Home builders are seeing their sales improve after the slowdown that followed the end of the home buyer tax credits. JMP Securities Analyst James Wilson says that sales activity in California, Texas, and Arizona are approaching pre-April numbers in many markets. In some markets, builders are able to continue to raise prices, and homes are selling at the strongest pace since before spring 2009, he says. Wilson said he expects home sales to continue to be up and down, but he believes that the market has already hit bottom and is on the upswing. That's good news. And on an economic note, Bernanke forecasts a fitful recovery. In a June 7th question and answer session at the Woodrow Wilson International Center for Scholars, Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke predicted a slow economic recovery with unemployment rates in the double digits for the near term. Question for Ben: if unemployment's in double digits, how are you going to have an economic recovery? That just doesn't work. Anyway, he said interest rates increases would likely resume before the job market fully recovers. Quote, even though technically we'll be in a recovery and the economy will be growing, unemployment will still be high for a while, and that means a lot of people will be under financial stress. No duh, Bernanke. This is Duane signing off. Happy trails to you as always. Proud to be an American. Thank you for listening and watching. I appreciate it.